This is a creamy chocolate pudding made with chickpeas. It's completely vegan, refined sugar-free, and much simpler to make than recipes that include eggs and dairy and cream. And this is so easy to whip up. You're not going to believe how good it is. You'd really never know that it's made with chickpeas. First up, we've got the chickpeas. One 15-ounce can, drained and rinsed, about 1.5 cups. The liquid that comes in the can of chickpeas can actually be used to make a whipped meringue or whipped cream. If we have time, we'll make that. If not, I do have a recipe and I can link to that at the end. Get these into the blender. You don't have to have a fancy blender or a high-speed blender. We have our dates. Get some really squishy medjool dates. About 3/4 cup, 140 grams. It's about 10 dates. Make sure we get the squishy ones. Easier to blend. You could actually soak the dates in the non-dairy milk for a little bit, and that will soften the dates right up. You can also always adjust this to the sweetness level you like. So if you like less sweet, you can put in fewer dates. If you like more, you can obviously put in more. Oh, these are some big ones that are really squishy. 5, 6, 7, about 8 dates. Cocoa powder, 6 tablespoons, 36 grams. I'm using this Dutch processed cocoa powder. It just has this really rich chocolatey flavor. If you prefer a more mild chocolate, you could use cacao or just natural cocoa powder. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more, 6. Okay. Now there is chocolate all over. That's typical for me. 1.5 teaspoons vanilla. Okay. Okay. A generous pinch of salt, about 1/4 teaspoon. Salt really brings out the chocolatiness, the flavors. Then 4 tablespoons cornstarch. 2, 3, 4. And then we need some non-dairy milk, 2¼ cups. I like this one I get from Trader Joe's because it's just soybeans and water. It has 9 grams of protein per serving, which is nice, but you can use whatever non-dairy milk you like. Let's get the lid on and we're gonna blend it up. Oh, it would help if we plugged it in. Power on. Blend really well. You want a really smooth pudding. I think that's good. Still very runny, and it's going to thicken up when we heat it up on the stove. The cornstarch is going to activate, but let's taste it first and make sure it's the sweetness we want. Cook over medium heat. It will take about 5 minutes or so to heat up. Get as much out of the blender as you can. And then once it gets heating up, you're going to want to keep stirring. Make sure your spatula or whisk is scraping the bottom of the pan because the cornstarch, as it heats up, gets thicker. So you want to make sure you incorporate all of that into the pudding. As soon as it starts to bubble up and start to boil, keep stirring and let it cook for about 1 more minute. Really good. That extra minute fully activates the cornstarch, thickens the pudding, and cooks off any starchiness. And remember, it's going to thicken even more as it cools off and sets. Oh, and one more thing. If you wanted to, at this point, add more richness, you could add a little chocolate, and it will just melt right in there. It's best to chop the chocolate into smaller pieces, smaller than I did here, so it melts more easily. You could use chocolate chips as well. Move quickly once it's done cooking. Pour it into a heat-proof container. It will be very hot, so be careful. Check out this texture. It's looking so good. Then smooth it out. If you don't want a skin to form on top, you can put a little piece of parchment paper on there, just like that. And now we're just going to set this aside to cool a little bit, and then we'll put it in the refrigerator for a few hours. Our delicious chickpea chocolate pudding is ready. You can scoop it out and serve it up that way, or because this is pretty thick pudding, we can demold it just the way you would Jell-O. Needs a little encouragement with the spatula going around there to loosen the pudding up off the sides. And then we'll be able to flip it over onto the plate. Wow. And slice it and then serve it up that way. That looks so good. I dusted a little cocoa powder on top. Try this again. It's like a chocolate cream pie filling thickness. If you want softer pudding, you just use less cornstarch. So like 2.5 tablespoons. That's really delicious. It's satiating with all the fiber and some of the protein and everything, and got the sweetness. It really satisfies. It's so good. I think it will be really great with like a whipped topping, like the whipped meringue I talked about, or like you can buy things like Cocoa Whip or non-dairy whipped cream. I am so not mad at this. Well, I hope you'll try it and enjoy it.